Hi, I'm Peter Jones, Chartered Surveyor, author and property investor.
One of the biggest mistakes I see property investors make, and this isn't just beginners, I see more experienced property investors doing exactly the same, is not to do either the right due diligence before they buy or the right amount of due diligence before they buy. And one of the key areas which I think is often overlooked is researching the end market for the property that you're going to be buying. So there's two markets potentially that we could be buying for. We're either going to be buying the property to rent it out, or we're going to be buying the property to sell it on. If we're buying it to sell it on, then we need to understand who the end buyer is going to be. Is it going to be a first-time buyer? Is it going to be a second-time buyer? What sort of properties are they actually looking for at the moment? And we want to have a property, we want to buy a property which we know is going to sell quickly. Why? Because our profit is going to be impacted by how long we hang on to the property. So as long as we can sell it quickly, we're probably going to make more profit. In rental terms, we need to understand the tenant market that we're aiming for. And I see so many investors skip this part because they get very excited about, for example, buying the property at a bargain price, what we could call BMV or below market value. And I don't care how BMV you buy the property. I don't care if you get it 10% below market value. I don't care if you get it 20% below market value. You could buy it 40%, 50% below market value. But if you cannot rent the property, or if you cannot rent it at a rent which makes sense and which is going to cover your costs, then it's a pointless exercise. So first and foremost, we have to understand the rental market that we're going to be aiming for once we bought the property. And that's going to come from, that knowledge is going to come from talking to, it's very basic, but I would go and talk to all of the letting agents in my target area. And I'd ask them what's happening. I'd ask them who the tenants are who are looking. I'd ask them which properties are renting quickly at the moment. I'd ask them what rent you're going to achieve on those properties. If you do that at a very minimum, then you're going to protect yourself on the downside from a lot of the risks that you're going to find in property.
Well, I hope you found that informative and inspirational. And if you want help in property, please do come over to my website, www.thepropertyteacher.co.uk. Loads of great resources there, including my blog. There's loads of free videos, loads of great articles. There's free reports to download, including Learning with Peter, where you'll be able to access resources like my video courses, like my ebooks, including my home study course, the Successful Property Investors Strategy Workshop, which I've literally sold thousands of copies of, which takes you through how I started in property, literally with none of my own money, but how I was able to build a portfolio of £2 million worth of property in just 4 years. I'll show you everything that I did right so that you can do the same, and I'll show you everything that I did wrong. I'll tell you about all of my mistakes so that you can avoid them, so that you can progress in property far more quickly than me. Until next time, here's to successful property investing.